There is a Pokemon that Niantic seemingly refuses to release in Pokemon Go, and that Pokemon is, of course, Mimikyu. Now, I think there are a lot of different reasons why we still have not seen this Pokemon in Pokemon Go, but I do think this is something worthy of a discussion because for a lot of players, they really want to see this Pokemon in the game. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to be exploring the reasons why I believe Mimikyu has never been released in Pokemon Go. Alright, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. Alright, so we've had yet another Halloween without the Pokemon Mimikyu. It's kind of become a meme at this point because players have always wanted this Pokemon in Pokemon Go, and they always feel like the Halloween season is when we would see this Pokemon. But ever since Alolan Pokemon were released, we've had several different Halloween events, and we've never seen this one Pokemon. It's basically eluded us for quite some time. And I think there's a lot of different reasons why Niantic has yet to release this Pokemon into Pokemon Go, and some of those reasons are quite valid, but I think at this point it's a long overdue Pokemon. There's plenty of other Pokemon that were released before Mimikyu that players did not expect to get released before Mimikyu, and at this point Niantic should just pull the ripcord. I think this Pokemon needs to be in the game. And I'm really disappointed, personally, that it was not a part of this year's Halloween season. I mean, yeah, this Halloween season was pretty fun, by all means. I think having the new leveling system implemented right before this Halloween season definitely amplified the excitement for this particular event, but I think overall there was just not much else going on. I mean, aside from the leveling aspect of it, there really wasn't anything special with this year's Halloween event. That's just my own personal opinion. We've certainly had a lot of new costume Pokemon and some new shinies released over the years with Halloween events, but it's been a while since we've had an exciting Ghost-type Pokemon release. I think the last time we've had a Ghost-type Pokemon that was released through a Halloween event that players were extremely excited about were Spiritomb and Shiny Spiritomb. And we haven't really had much after that. It just feels like the Halloween event has steadily declined over the years. I mean, I even made a video just highlighting all of the different Halloween events that we've had so far, and the thing that I noticed is that initially the Halloween event was incredibly hyped. There was a lot of players who were really happy about the Halloween events. They were looking forward to it, in a sense. And before the Wild Area event, it was essentially the last big event of the year. Like, even though it's not like a special in-game event, kind of like Pokemon Go Fest or anything like that, it was still something major. It was still something that a lot of players were looking forward to. But it hasn't been that case for probably the last 4 years. It doesn't feel like the Halloween event really lives up to its reputation as being one of the better events. But I think one of the things that they could do to bring the Halloween event into the original status that it once had is releasing new Ghost-type Pokemon with every Halloween event. I think a big one that has yet to be released is, of course, Mimikyu. And I thought this year would be the year. Personally, I thought a lot of players were suspecting that they would finally do it, they would finally release this Pokemon, and it would be this year, but they did not do that. I think what will end up happening is that once we are about to get the Alola region Go Tour event, I think the Halloween right before that is probably when we're going to see Mimikyu, which I feel like at that point, it's just long overdue. I mean, there is a possibility that they may even save Mimikyu for the Go Tour event. It may not necessarily even be a part of Pokemon Go until the Go Tour event. I think they did something similar with Kecleon, where that was a Pokemon that a lot of players thought was overdue. And we did not see that Pokemon until, I would say, about a month before the Go Tour event for that particular Pokemon. So that is a strong possibility. And I think one of the reasons why Niantic has not released Mimikyu is simply because this Pokemon has very unique qualities. It does have some mechanics within the mainstream games where it would have different forms depending on like certain things in the battle. I don't actually know. I'm not that familiar with the mainstream games, unfortunately, but from everything that I've seen, Mimikyu is a unique Pokemon, very similar to what they did for Kecleon and Pokemon like Zorua. I'm sure they have something cooked up for Mimikyu, and they're just waiting for the right moment for this Pokemon to get released. But I think it's very frustrating. I mean, I'm all for that. I'll be honest with you. I think if they have something really cool in mind for Mimikyu, great. I would hope that it would be successful. It would be something that wouldn't necessarily just contribute to just finding this Pokemon and catching it. I think that sort of gameplay is certainly outdated, and we want to see something unique with every single Pokemon we encounter. And I think if they were to do something for Mimikyu that's different from every other Pokemon that we come across, yeah, I think that's all okay. But I do think they need to expedite it. I'm not sure when they could release Mimikyu at this point, if it's going to be during Halloween of next year, or if it's going to be during the Go Tour event, or it's going to be in its own dedicated event. I really do not know what the case may be, but at this point they need to come up with something. Because this is just one of those Pokemon that has just eluded Pokemon Go for such a long time. And I think a lot of players just want to complete their Pokedex and get it over with at this point. Maybe they're not even excited about this Pokemon anymore. I think a lot of the fanfare and the luster for this one particular Pokemon has certainly diminished over the years. It's still considered a fan favorite, don't get me wrong, but I think at the initial time, they should have struck when the iron was hot. That's my personal opinion. When the Alolan Pokemon were first announced, Mimikyu was one of the major standouts. But I think by this point, a lot of people just simply do not care about this Pokemon anymore like they used to. So yeah, whatever hype they could have had with this one Pokemon, I feel like at this point it's definitely diminished, and they're not going to get as much excitement as they could have if they were to release this earlier. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Again, I do think they're trying to save up this Pokemon for something really special, but I feel like they may have waited too long. That's kind of how I see it. I think a lot of people within the Pokemon Go community just treat it as a meme, and when it finally does get released, maybe yeah, there will be some excitement within the Pokemon Go community, but I cannot imagine that it would draw a lot of players back to Pokemon Go. There are certainly going to be Pokemon who will do that. I think Mega Mewtwo is going to be the most hyped up thing that will ever happen to Pokemon Go, but Mimikyu is definitely not going to be that. Maybe at one point it could have been, but those days are long gone. So yeah. Anyway, that's just my personal opinions and thoughts regarding this one Pokemon. Again, I do think we're going to get this Pokemon someday. It's not like they'll never release Mimikyu. And like I said, I'm pretty sure there's going to be something special with this Pokemon. We just do not know. And whatever that special thing is, I hope it's worth it, because yeah, we've been waiting way too long for this one Pokemon. But yeah, that's really all I have. There's nothing else to talk about, so yeah, definitely share your thoughts regarding Mimikyu down below. What do you think about this Pokemon being so long overdue? Or do you feel like it's not that overdue? Do you feel like whenever Niantic releases this Pokemon, it's going to be good timing? I would definitely like to know why you would think that. Maybe I'm just completely wrong on this. Maybe I have the wrong opinion. Maybe I have rose-tinted glasses. I don't know, but definitely share your thoughts. I would definitely like to know. I'm very curious. And yeah, make sure you share it in the comments below, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to every single one of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best thing you can do is, of course, joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm actually going to personally add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like opening and sending gifts, remote raids, all that good stuff. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see right now on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. That'll be a huge help to my channel, and you'll have access to some exclusive content. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later. Jinsula